let's kick it off. I think we probably have everybody, but we've got this one of the smallest meetings that we've had in a while, but that's okay. It's a beautiful May day, and appreciate everybody coming out to participate and hear about what's going on. So I got to look over here for the presentation. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So one thing that we've been liking to do at each of these, I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about Wyndham Park and the organization, and then we'll dig into our topics with Nasser and Rashid, who's going to be talking about the crime prevention and crime update from the 2nd precinct here. But a little while back, we spent some time identifying what we wanted to do as an organization. So we connect people of Wyndham Park with their government and talk about ways to connect. How do we improve it? How do we invest the resources in the right way and make sure that stakeholders have a voice at the table with Commissioner Payne, with our representatives, with our state senators, and anybody else. Metro Transit today is a good example. So that's really what we focus on and have been focusing on over the last several months and years, really. And then you can see our goals there. We picked 4 goals to help steer our activities and our investments through the neighborhood. And so you can see them up there. Yeah, so that's a work in progress. So one step at a time. Tonight's agenda, we're going to go through a couple programs for tonight that are coming up in the neighborhood. We have several things that are new and then that we're kicking off tonight, but then some new programs coming down the line. Talk about Arbor Day. And then we have a few special guests that are going to be talking about topics that are important to the neighborhood. And then we can open it up at the end, depending on how late we are going to go. We put a time cap for our meetings at 8:30. So if we end earlier, that's great. If they go that long, that's when we're going to end it. So that's something that we've been working on to be courteous of everybody's time. So first, we have a PTA representative here, but the Pillsbury Parent Teacher Association recently got their association designation, which is very exciting. But we have the annual carnival coming up on June 2nd, Friday, June 2nd. So come out. If for anybody that was here last year, they rebooted it after a couple of years because it had gone away from the pandemic, but it's out here in Wyndham Park. It's a fantastic event. Tons of people, tons of kids, family oriented. So just trying to spread the word a little bit. It's a lot of fun. And any thoughts or comments from?
Also just got, oopsie, thank you. We also just got a vendor of empanadas. So that's pretty exciting. And then at the top there, we are running a silent auction starting on Friday. We worked super hard on this and gotten a lot of really amazing donations from the neighborhood. So if you have a second, check it out. It'll run for a week and all the proceeds help us put on this festival and help us feed the kids who come to the festival, because a lot of them don't come with spending money to buy dinner. So that's all I have on that.
That's great. Thanks, Molly. So Molly's a recent addition to the board, and she's also a member. She's a parent at Pillsbury and a member of the Pillsbury PTA. So I appreciate you spending some time.
Thank you.
Yep. So it'll be a lot of fun. Mark your calendars. Come on out. Rain gardens are coming back again this year. So for anybody that hasn't had a rain garden yet installed, we encourage you to reach out to us and get signed up. So Wyndham Park Citizens in Action covers the cost of the design portion and the installation or the landscaping removal. And then you need to pay for the cost of plants, but they come at a pretty good rate, and you'll learn about that from the designer that Metro Blooms provides. But we have several people in here that have had rain gardens installed. I'm one of them. It's a great experience and an awesome way to help pollinators and reduce runoff are the big ones. So you can capture the Metro Bloom specialist will take a look at your yard, take a look at your property, and identify the best spot where a rain garden would be most appropriate. And so it's a great deal, and you can learn all about the costs that you may incur and what to expect. And they do a lot of training and things like that. So we're opening it up. We have spots for 10 rain gardens this year. You can see at the bottom. So if you're interested, give us an email, info@wyndhampark.org, and we'll get you on the list. It'll be basically first come, first serve, and then we can, make sure that everything's good to go. Any questions on that from anybody out in? Well, email us. We'll put people that haven't had rain gardens first. Yeah, but if there's not 10 that are reserved, then we'd prefer to use all 10 spots. Yeah, certainly. Any
Yeah,
questions from people in the Zoom?
Yeah, hey, I'd like to just let you guys know that my rain garden looks pretty amazing right now. I did it last year, and the prairie smoke plants are all coming up and starting to possibly, I think they're going to get their little fuzzy things very quickly. And I would like if everyone who's had a rain garden in the past, if we could send pictures of our current rain garden to maybe Thomas, and maybe we can feature like a collage of that sometime. So if you've done a rain garden, snap a few pictures of what it looks like today, and send it to us, and it'd be cool to see what everybody's rain garden's looking like.
Yep, great comment. Thanks, Tara. So we'll be looking for people to register pretty soon. We want to get into the queue with Metro Blooms and get the landscape designers out here. So reach out to us as soon as you can. Wanted to spend a few minutes recapping the Arbor Day event at Wyndham Park. It was an awesome event for anybody that had a chance to come out. We planted a lot of trees. The city invested a lot of resources into our park and planted over 150 trees, and they all look great. So if you haven't been out to the park to take a lap around, it's really pretty spectacular to see all the new trees, because they're not just little saplings either. They're pretty nice. So as you can see, there's some photos. We had Ecuador Manta as a band. We had some traditional Somali dancers were here. We had several speeches from elected officials. Was there one other band?
There's two bands.
Oh yeah, yep, exactly. The arborators up in the trees.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, brass messengers.
Yep. Yep. Brass Messengers, a marching band that went around. So food trucks, a lot of fun. So you can see some photos there. Really great event. Heard a lot of good buzz from the community and people that attended. So just really fun in general. So let's go to the next slide. But now the hard work starts, where it's time to adopt the trees. So this is a map from brewingabetterforest.com, where they actually have a GIS map of all the new trees. So you can adopt trees all across the city. And if last summer is like, or this summer is like last summer, there's going to be a lot of trees that need a lot of water. So if you're interested in adopting a tree, there's plenty to go around, and it would be great to have most or all of these trees actually make it. So if you want to adopt a tree and enjoy drinking beer, you can adopt a tree, and then you get free beer tokens from Brewing a Better Forest. And then it's win-win. And if you don't want the beer, you can still adopt a tree anyway, but that's available. What's that? It's watering. So essentially, yeah, if it hasn't rained during the week, if somebody adopts a tree, if they can put a 5-gallon bucket of water on the tree for that week, then it'll help it survive. Yep.
Do they all have the little bags on them?
I don't think so. I'm just looking at the room. Some do. Yeah, some do. So you can see these. And we haven't talked with the park for Lou at the park here to see where the best like watering location is, because obviously a 5-gallon bucket of water is very heavy. So still working through some details, but if we've been in touch with Brewing a Better Forest, who was here at the event serving beer and offered their license and things like that. So great partners, and they do this all the time. But so we're working through some of the details, but it'd be great to have some people adopt some trees. Any questions from the Zoom room? Okay. And then last but not least, we love talking about these, the neighborhood programs. So we have a home security rebate program for if you have Ring doorbells, new security lights, bars on doors, things like that. There's a whole laundry list of things, but if you're making your home more safe and secure, we can help you by giving you $200 back on that investment. There's also low interest home loans. Now that loan costs have gone up, this is quite a bit more competitive. So 0 to 2%. So if you're looking at a remodel or renovation in your house, this is a great program. Also free home energy squad audits. The list is pretty long for this, although it's probably catching up a little bit now. But if you want to find ways to improve the efficiency of your home, those are free for Wyndham Park residents. And also for anybody that has a business in Wyndham Park, we have low interest commercial loans. So this applies for basically the whole stretch of Central Avenue and several other commercial areas around Northeast, not just Wyndham Park proper, but also low interest loans available for anybody that's interested there. You can find more on our website. Okay. Now, next, we're going to turn it over to Nasser. I'm pointing at Nasser over here. We'll stop sharing. And if you want to share your screen, then you can take it away.
Will you be able to enable me to share my screen?
Yep, we heard that. 1 second.
Okay. Can you allow me to share my screen? Okay. Perfect.
You should be able to. Can you give it a try, Nasser?
Let me try it again. Yep. All right, we're good. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me find the right screen.
Thomas, let's switch to this camera while we're doing that.
Do you see what I'm sharing here?
And then on this screen, why don't you stop sharing? Not yet, Nasser, no. There it goes.
How about now?
Yep, it's just coming up. 1 second. There it goes. Yep,
All right.
looks good. Go ahead. Thank you.
Give me 1 second. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And I don't see you. I don't see how many people are in the room, but my name is Nasser, and I am the outreach lead for the Metro F line. So I have been with this project since the beginning of 2021. So that's when I started taking over this project. I've been leading since then. And thank you for this opportunity. And probably this is the second time that I came back to this neighborhood and with my colleague. I think previously I came with my colleague and shared this information, but this is my second time, and I will definitely continue engaging this neighborhood moving forward and keep them in the loop. So the Metro F line is the bus rapid transit. It is designed to provide more faster, frequent, and all-day service between downtown Minneapolis and Northtown Transit Mall Center in Blaine. This is 13-mile corridor from downtown Minneapolis to Northtown Transit Center in Blaine. And this is obviously a significant upgrade to Route 10 on Central Avenue, which in Central, Fifth Third, and University Avenue. So for some of you who frequently use 10, there are two 10. One is a 10U and the other one is 10N. 10N will run normally on all the Central Avenue, north of Columbia Heights Transit Center, which is Central and the 41st. And then 10U follow exactly the Metro F line, which is running on Central Avenue, takes left on 53rd and University Avenue, and then goes all the way to Northtown Transit Center. The project is planned to build about 32 stations between downtown Minneapolis and Northtown Transit Center. And it's targeted to start service in 2026. So there are some certain things that make this bus rapid transit faster and more better than what exists at the moment at Route 10. One is the spacing a little bit at the station. We'll try to have a station spaced between 2 to 3 stations per mile. That is one way of speeding up the process. Because if you take right now bus number 10, it literally stops at every block, and that delays the process really very doesn't move that much quickly, and doesn't get people from point A to point B as people want to go very faster, especially in the morning during rush hour. And plus Central Avenue is very slow, as many of you know. So the other thing is also that comes with this bus investment is the high capacity bus, and also the high quality infrastructure that includes a fare collection machine. People get on board. People pay before they get on board, so there is no line waiting for the bus, getting on bus one by one. It just, as bus comes, people will be able to jump on the bus from the back door and from the front door as well. So because they are expected to be paid before the bus shows up. And the other priority that we're looking also and working, obviously, we're closely working with MnDOT, as I will talk later down the road. Also, when it is possible, having bus priority signal or bus lane only, if it is possible and when that is possible. So that is one of the ways that we speed up the process and making this more frequent and a more high capacity investment. And we are targeting to run the bus every 10 minutes. That is making it more high frequency and more reliable as well, because I think right now the bus number 10 takes quite significant amount of time, and it's very slower, and the frequency is very low as well, sometimes during the day. As I talked to the station element, comes with very significant, similar to what you see at the Light Valley station, heated shelter. It includes emergency camera, emergency communication, security camera as well. The shelter is also has a very high quality lighting and weather protection as well. The ticketing machine, trash collection, and also the benches are also designed in very nicely. And the station is also ADA accessible, designed in a way that it is more easy for customers on wheelchair to navigate through the platform. So the project, as I already mentioned, the F-line identified in 2021. And that is when we started planning with the project partners. As early as possible, we convened Transit Advisory Committee that is combined of cities, county, state, and also federal partners as well, to just make sure that the F-line project has more local support from the city, county, and state as well, and also closely coordinating with other projects that are coming to the area, specifically MnDOT. As some of you may know, MnDOT is doing what they call PEL study, very long stretch of studying the Central Avenue and University Avenue to just recommend what this area may look like in the next few years. We don't know exactly what that looks like at this point. So, but we're closely working with MnDOT and all cities that the project go through. So we released the recommended corridor plan on April 12th, and then ended actually this weekend, Sunday. The comment period ended this Sunday. But even though the comment period ended, normally one thing that we do, and I will let you guys know at this point, if you have the comments or if you have any, something that you recommend or something that you want me or my team to consider, you could definitely send us email to this email that are on the screen, and I will share this in a Zoom text as well. So we will consider that as long as you send me that email by the end of this week, by the Friday. That will be definitely fine. I'll consider that. I've been out in the corridor, door knocking, talking to the station neighbors, businesses, riders as well, also tabling at multiple community locations, library, and also the grocery stores as well. We also sent out multiple emails, a postcard as well, and posting on social media. So we're just out and engaging more and more people as we, collect feedback from multiple people along the corridor. And I just want to make sure that everyone has a chance to, give us their feedback, and we widely engaging people, and also making sure that languages are accessible. And we translated language in Spanish, Somali, Hmong, Oromo, and Arabic. So it's much more accessible. And as we keep moving forward, I understand that some communities prefer the more oral language. We will add more videos that explain the project in multiple languages. That's one thing that I have been learning, and we'll do that moving forward. There are 3 stations in this neighborhood between 18th and Lowry. And I will go over that, where that located and how that is different from what exists and what is new about what we recommending the new station locations. There are some specific things that we look at when we recommend the station. That is looking at pedestrian safety. So is the location that we're recommending more safe, and we look at the pedestrian safety as well. The land use is something that we also look at. Spacing between the station is also another thing that we look at. Existing rider is also another thing that we look at. Connecting transit services, with transit more connected. We try to connect with other transit services as well. And then community feedback is also another element that we look at as we when we recommend the station locations. And the other thing is also the speed and reliability. Mostly when I say speed and reliability, we try to recommend the bus, the bus stop is what we call far side. Far side is the bus comes to stop after the bus goes through the traffic light, because otherwise, if you have the station before the bus goes to the traffic light, the bus comes to stop, picks up people, and then waits for the traffic to turn on, and then that delays. So we try to just make sure that the bus station comes to after the bus goes through the traffic light. That's one way that we are speeding up as well. And the other thing is also the street design. So these are the elements that we look at when we recommend the station locations. Central and 18th, and I will go one by one, all these 3 stations. Central and 18th, as you can see, the southbound platform is at the existing Route 10, which is right by the Central Dental Clinic. And then the northbound is a little bit farther on the north side of the right by the Parker Skyview, the senior housing residence right here. The current one is right at, on the south of 18th, and now we're moving to the north of the 18th, right by the food shelf, which is connected to the Parker Skyview apartment or senior building. I've been there last week or last Tuesday, had a meeting with the resident council at this senior living facility. And I heard some concerns and comments, and I will go back and evaluate the specific area that or comment is what I heard, and also continue communicating with the property manager as well. So I'll go back to them and see just to evaluate exactly what we have in place, because I heard some the snow removal during the winter, and then some accessibility at this intersection exists. So I'll go back and make sure that we address that concerns, and then continue working with this community as well. 20 Central and 22nd. So the proposed platform locations are at existing route, which is right by the New Boston Square, and also right, the other one is that the south side is right by the Northeast Library, right in front of Northeast Library. So there's no change to this intersection. But there is a change to Lowry and Central. The northbound is northbound location is exactly the same, right by the city-owned is a vacant space right there, and then the Lowry, the current one is on the north side of Lowry, and then we're moving it to the south side of the Lowry, right by the San Francisco and Durango Bakery, just for the speed and reliability purposes. And we're closely coordinating with the Lowry reconstruction, MnDOT as well, and any project that is coming to the area. We're closely working with the city and, like I said, with MnDOT as well in Hennepin County as well, because Hennepin County is working on reconstructing Lowry at this intersection. One thing that you can do, send us the comment, even though the comment period ended. Like I said, I'll definitely take your comment and incorporate. If you send me something before the end of this Friday, we use this email. Send me your comment or suggestions if you have any. I'll more than happy to take that until the end of this Friday, and add that into the official comment that we have been collecting for the last month. And with that being said, I will take any questions, and if the questions are more technical, I will take that to my technical advisor and get back to you on answering that question. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nasser. Appreciate
Yep.
that. Looks
Yep.
like the project is really coming along pretty nicely. I think we'll open it up to a few questions. I saw Celia had one. Do you have the mic on?
Hello,
Hi.
Sounds like it's-
you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Mike, I have two questions. The first one is, I want to take the bus. I go up to it, I buy a ticket. Do I get a ticket to show the driver? Or is this an honor system like the light rail?
It is, our transit system is built on the honor system. So it is the honor system, but if you pay with your go-to card, sometimes people pay with their app. So when you pay with your app, you just show the driver. But if you pay with the go-to card or buy a ticket at the ticketing machine, you just have that with you, and then if the police, because sometimes they come to the bus and they check if you paid or not, and you just show them whenever they show up.
Because that's a problem with the light rail that people don't pay. So I'm just pointing that out. And then secondly, is there included in the budget a way to keep these stations clean? I took the light rail to the airport. The stations, it's a pigsty, frankly. And I'm concerned that that's going to be another issue on this new line, that there's no money to keep them clean.
Metro Transit is prioritizing this kind of high quality investment. That is one. And I know exactly what you are saying at the transit, the light rail. I think there's no secret to that. We are currently dealing with really very challenging situation. And I think, as many of you know, the challenges that are kind of spilling over to the transit space is very recent development, and we're dealing with that in a very challenging way. One way that Metro Transit is trying to address that is the exploring what other cities are doing around the different states and different cities. That is, we're looking at how do we use the non-police, just civilian, just kind of checking on what is going on at different stations, and then if something is out of line, making sure that people just not just hanging around there and turning the station into like a hangout place. And just making sure that, people who are not using transit service, not just like really hanging around there. So that is one program that we're developing and just testing out right now at Franklin station. We just started that about a month and a half ago. So that is going well. So we're planning to expand that just to address that kind of issue.
Well, I'm just concerned because I see that Metro Transit,
Mhm.
at least I'm an infrequent rider, but that they have a hard time managing what they've already got. And I think you need to keep that in mind. So I don't want to take any more time, but it's a comment.
No, that definitely I appreciate that comment. It is, it's something that we take very seriously and are trying to address that in a very different ways of approaching and making sure that is, because I think if like you already pointed out, if there is no safety and clean transit service, I don't think we have transit service. I mean, that is high priority for us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, I have a question primarily regarding you're looking at a redesign of Central and University. Is this
Mhm.
stuff being coordinated between the two? I mean, are they going to happen at different times? Hopefully, we're not going to start one thing and then make a change that's going to cause the other thing to change. And I'm just curious about the timing of this whole thing.
So that's really good question. So the timing wise, we are very closely working with MnDOT because the Metro F line is moving ahead before MnDOT recommend, because MnDOT is just doing a study. We don't know what they will be recommending and what kind of like what they envision. But we have been closely working with them so that the two projects are compatible with anything that they will recommend. So I think you are very right. We're trying to minimize the disruption in building one thing and then recommending another thing, and then rebuilding what is already built. And so we try to minimize and really make sure that whatever MnDOT recommend, Metro F line will be compatible with that anything that they recommend.
Okay, because I know the initial plans I saw, and I went to the thing in Northeast and they had like 4 different plans, but the ones through Central Avenue was the same for all of them. And it had a northbound bus lane, no southbound. They had no parking on both sides of the street. And I think that needs some major work. So I'd hate to invest the money with this change and then have to redo it later. That's my point.
Right.
All right, thanks, Larry. Let's do one more question if there are any, and then I think we can wrap it up after that.
I have one.
There we go. Yep. Hi, Tara, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So currently the 10 has also an express bus that takes makes fewer stops in the morning and in the afternoon during the weekdays. Will that express idea be eliminated now that there are less stops?
That is correct. Yes. So the Metro F line will let me go back to the map. So the Metro F line basically replaces 10 from downtown Minneapolis to 10N, not 10U. So it will replace 10U from downtown Minneapolis to Northtown Transit Center. However, as I already mentioned, there's a 10N that goes on Central, north of Columbia Heights Transit Center, which is not shown here. 41st from here, and then runs all the way kind of like all on Old Central Avenue. That will continue serving communities between 41st in Northtown Transit Center. So that will become a very short line. It will not come to downtown, so it will start from Northtown Transit Center and end at here, Northtown, Columbia Transit Center, and then back and forth. But the F line will serve primarily between downtown and Northtown Transit Center. Yes, that will be replaced.
Okay, so there won't be like an express one, because that one only had like 2 stops or something.
No,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, thank you, Tara. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nasser. If you don't mind, why don't you click to the very end here, and then we have the email address that if anybody has any last questions or comments, they can send that in to you, fline@metrotransit.org. So Nasser, thank you for coming out, and appreciate your insight into the project. Sounds like it'll be coming along, and then there's lots of other projects that are in line right behind it too. So got some construction headed our way.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks a lot.
So we're going to switch back to our presentation. I'm looking over here at the presentation screen. And we were going to have Rashid Ali join us to do a crime prevention update, but he's not able to join us. So we're going to skip that portion of it, and then we'll get out a little bit early. We have a couple board meeting next week on Tuesday, like the 4th Tuesday, like we always do. And then next neighborhood meeting, we're going every other month. So we are in July, and that's going to be our annual meeting. So we're going to try and bump that up a little bit and have a little bit more fun with that. So we're just in the planning phases. We do have a couple open board seats. So if anybody's interested in joining the board, we'd be happy to have you. And I think that's really it. We can just turn it open to any questions or comments or ideas, and hope several people can adopt some trees. So I'm just looking around the room. Anybody out in Zoom land have any comments or questions? Anybody in here?
We
Very
can't
good.
hear.
We're gonna be playing the Lorax on June 2nd after the Pillsbury Carnival event. So if you're looking for a community movie to come watch, that'll be outdoors on the big screen, and that'll be really fun on the park. Yeah. So thank you for thinking of that.
Is that going to be, I would suggest that like that be added to their advertising even, because otherwise people aren't going to know about it.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, thank you. Yep, Molly's nodding at you. Yeah. Yep, let's do it. All right. Other than that, I think we can call it a night. Ted, do you have a question? We don't have an agenda yet, but probably. Yep. Do you have anything specifically that we could relay or connect you with? Okay. Yeah, certainly. Yep. He was on last neighborhood meeting, and we thought he'd be here today, but I wasn't able to make it. So, yep. No, great question though. Anything else?
Just a concern, something that mentioned earlier, as far as the project.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing a lot of buildings. Well, in there, but thanks, Ted. Thank you.
So we're seeing a lot of buildings go up in the neighborhood, and I don't know about y'all, but I don't care to see these 3-4 story high rises go up in our neighborhood. And there's a rumor going around that we're gonna see one here in the next couple of years on Johnson Street down here. So this is just in the beginning phases, and it sounds like it's a couple of years away, but it's gonna be between 22nd and 23rd and Johnson Street. And that would be within the zoning rights of this person if he decides that he wants to do this. And he's talking about building a 4-story complex with
40 units.
how many units?
40, I believe.
Yeah, 40
No
units.
kitchen, just, yeah.
Yeah,
We
no
don't have
kitchen.
details, but
But so it's a local business owner in our area, and he's got plans to do this. He has had some preliminary talks with the city and with zoning, and so it's very early, but it's something that I think any of us that live in this neighborhood should be concerned about. At least that's the way I feel, because it's half a block away from me.
40.
40,
Yeah.
4-story building. From what I understand, he wants to build from 22nd and Johnson up to the alley. Yep. So 22nd and Johnson up to the alley, between 22nd and 23rd.
And also he did try to pressure a neighbor to buy her house, and we know that because we talked to them.
So yeah, this neighbor lady of ours, a friend of ours, he's been kind of pressuring her for the last 4 or 5 years. And he's putting the pressure on even more because she's kind of standing in the way of his wanting to build this.
And he said
four-story
he's gonna
building.
build one around her house, which is impossible. Yeah, that's a different. But
He's not able to do it. I think he's just using that as a tactic to try to move her out of there. So she'll sell, but he's telling her that he's gonna build around her and go up 22nd Avenue. Well, he can't go up 22nd Avenue because that's not part of the 2040 plan. That was. He does have multiple properties. Yes, he does have property on Johnson Street. He owns the house across the street. He owns a couple of houses on 22nd Avenue. He's trying to buy the barber shop on 22nd there that he wants to tear down and build a parking lot. So he's working on it, but east side of the street, correct. So.
And that's something that has to have city approval.
Pardon me? It would have,
Governor,
it would
he's
have
the
to be city, it would have, he'd have to go through all the necessary steps as far as city approval, zoning, all that stuff, but there has been some preliminary talks, but from what I understand, it's a couple of years out. But he's trying to buy up all the property around there so that he can get this done. So that's a concern of mine.
There you go. Thanks for the heads up.
Thank you.
Nice to know what's going on. Yep. Sonia? That's a good question. So, for
Can you
folks out there, yeah, was, anything happening with the Bethany Center? And, we don't know. It's under construction. It's being rehabbed right now, so they're working on it. There's people in there and there's been a lot of work going on, but what the final plans are and the destination of the building is, unknown at this point. Yeah. So we can reach out to Counselor Payne because we've had a couple people ask that, and I don't think he really knows because it's a private property. So it's being handled privately. I think the city, keeps tabs on it. But yeah, we're not really sure at this time. So that's a good question though. Also unknown by me anyway. Yeah. Mhm. Yep. Nice to see it getting work done though. They've been doing some work on it and keeping it clean and keeping people in there. So at least there's not broken windows and things like that, like were happening for a little while. So yeah, having some traffic and some lights and some security stuff going on is good, good sign anyway. Okay, good question. Anybody tuning in on Zoom? Any questions, comments for the neighborhood? Anything you'd like to shout out to the group?
I guess I will, because why not?
There we go.
The person who was just speaking about the future development,
Mhm.
I think that if we can get their contact information and maybe we can help become a part of the process where, we get more involved and have more information. Maybe we can get them to even come and, talk to the neighborhood.
Yep.
Answer
Yeah.
questions.
That's great because we've had oftentimes it's not a requirement that they come talk to the neighborhood, but I think it's a strong recommendation. The city does defer, if we have any input to the project. And so it's good to just keep tabs on what's going on, where the developments are and who's coming through. There is a, not like that project, but there's a mixed unit affordable housing unit that's going up on Lowry and I forget the cross street, but so there's development going on because of the 2040 plan. I mean, we're going to see that. We're just going to have to work through it and, work together on it, but good to know what's going on for sure. Yep. So good comment, Tara. Thank you. Molly?
If you would like to turn a portion of your yard over to advertising, we do have a big box of these summer festival signs. They are everlasting. If you notice, there's no date on them. And that's our plan. So there's a box of them near the door if you feel like helping out and taking one or three, because we have 3 languages on our signs. So.
Okay, and with that, I think we'll wrap it up. You want to do this one? Thank you, people in Zoom land for joining us remotely, and thank you everybody for working through our growing pains as we get our hybrid kit up and running. But I think it's a pretty good experience so far, and appreciate you coming out. We'll see everybody in July and June 2nd at the Pillsbury PTA Summer Carnival. Thanks, everybody. Good night.